I always wanted to do be an entrepreneur from my college days, even before that, because my dad was working with CDAC. He was in the team which developed the first supercomputer from India. So I had this entrepreneur bug biting me all the time, and but I knew that I could not. I had sort of limitations, so I wanted to work in a proper company. So I was working with Bosch after my college, and in there I was working on a product called Blockpump. Blockpump is actually a brand from Bosch, which is like in-car navigation, infotainment and all. So it provides the HUD for high-end cars like Audi, BMW and all. So I was working on developing a user interface for this device, which is into navigation, route calculation. So long before Siri and all came, it could take voice commands and things like that in the car. So I was working on that project. When Siri launched, last October, and we could see like every social media everywhere. It was like everybody's talking like Siri, Siri, Siri all the time. So it was a Friday, I guess, and Friday is a weekday. So we had a bet like we could do this in 8 hours as a hackathon. So we just did a crude version of Siri competitor for Android, which is called Iris, and we were just sharing these pictures in Twitter, and somehow TechCrunch is a premier technology blog. One of those TechCrunch guys picked it up and he wanted to test it out. So from then, it went viral and everybody was talking about Iris. That's when we realized, okay, this has a lot of potential, and then we started putting heads down and working on a production quality Iris. So in a month we had a pretty decent version of Iris, and in 2-3 months we already crossed 1 million downloads in market. So we are also in the top download application in the Android market, and by then we were known as Iris guys rather than Friday. It has actually three components. First is the voice to text conversion. When I talk something, the phone should understand and it should convert that into a text so that I can understand what he's saying. So that we already using the Google's technology, which is voice to text conversion. From then I have to understand what he's trying to say. For example, if I'm saying like I'm really feeling Thursday, I want to have a cup of coffee. The understanding is that I want coffee. I can also say that I want coffee. So these two sentences mean the same thing. But my system, my engine can understand the natural language, that's English, and you can understand even if you use decorative English or you get plain English, passive voice, active voice anyway, Iris can understand what you're trying to say, what you're trying to convey, and do an action based on that. The third part is actually doing an action. For example, if I say I want coffee, I should understand that I should go to the map and show you a coffee place nearby. So when I say I want coffee, my application will open the map and it will show you the map where's the nearest coffee place. So if you say I'm looking for what's the stock price of Google, it knows that I have to go to Yahoo Finance and get the stock price of Google. So it does that. Or if I say who killed Abraham Lincoln, it knows that it's a factual question. It goes to the Wikipedia or some other third party and find who killed Abraham Lincoln and tell you the answer. I would say the voice, the natural language processing itself is it's a emerging area. Since Siri, a lot of people are interested in working on that. But before that, we were doing this for over a year before that. So this is very toughest. I would say in the computer science, in the computational analysis and algorithms, is one of the toughest algorithms to crack because you can say a simple sentence in hundreds of ways, right? So I have to understand what he's trying to say. So this is an NP problem. In the computer language, we say NP is a really hard problem, and we are trying to work on that. So that itself is a really tough job to do. We would not say we are 100% correct on that, but we have a good hit rate on that. So that is the hardest problem. And then voice to text again is a bottleneck, which we are not handling at all, because converting a voice to text itself is a tough job, and we're depending on Google for right now, and it's not very perfect. For example, it does not recognize many of the accents. Like when a common Indian man who talks in English is much different from the way a native English speaker speaks English. It's even between English speakers, like UK English and US and Australian English, all are different. So understanding what he's trying to say itself is a big problem.